This is a story about why I decided to move from the PC, which I'm playing on right now, to a console. And in this case, the console is a PlayStation 5, the fat version with the disc. Okay. The reason is, it's pretty simple actually. GPUs are getting fucking ridiculous year on year, generation on generation. I was expecting the 5000 series to be somewhat slightly better than what we are seeing in these third-party benchmarks. We have no idea about what the 9070 XT is going to look like, and I have a feeling it's kind of going to be on the 5070-ish performance range. I have a feeling, and I have a feeling they will also have some kind of frame generation to make it perform better. Rasterization, ladies and gentlemen, seems to be dead. AMD, I really hope they prove me wrong, because I want AMD cards to succeed. I want these Radeon cards to succeed, man, because that's like the last line of defense for PC gaming. If this continues, I don't know what the fuck we're buying. These are not GPUs. These are just some... I don't know what it is, okay? Frame generation is okay as long as the prices are low. If you're going to be charging a premium for generating fake frames without any improvement in actual rasterization performance, that means you're basically only giving support to certain game engines that support this technology. The other ones, and there are a lot of studios out there that still build games on their own engines, unless they have support for these things, nothing's going to happen. So, considering all of that, and considering the ridiculous direction in which PC gaming is going, and the most important aspect of it is the games that are coming out, they don't have consistent performance. Like, I remember back in the 1080 Ti days, I mean, that's at least the 960 days, for example, when we had the RX 400 series, the RX 580 series, way up until the 2000 series, maybe even 3000, okay, until now, recently. Games were pretty decently optimized and they had pretty good performance. If a game released on PC, you knew for a fact that the game would perform the best. Okay, of all of the gaming devices that were out there, it would perform the best on the PC. You would have mods and that would make the game even more fun. However, nowadays, I fucking touch any game and it's shit ass. I mean, there's no optimization. They're using Unreal Engine 5, there's Lumen, there's Nanite, all of that stuff is okay. But when I launch the game and I play, there's no consistent performance. It shouldn't be that bad, honestly. Games that have been like 8 years or 5 years or 10 years older run way better, they look way better, they feel way better, the gameplay experience is so much better. For example, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight. These games are fucking fantastic. Shadow of War. I mean, these games are so old, they run so beautifully. Assassin's Creed. I mean, the one before Mirage. All of these games, man, they used to run great. Okay? And now we have games that fucking cannot get clouds right. They cannot get lighting correctly. They cannot get, proper rendering. You can't have there's shimmering, there's noise, and there's this abomination called TAA. So overall, PC gaming is currently in a mess. On top of that, to actually play these games at good decent settings, well, I'm not saying I need the max, at least decent settings. You need a pretty beefy GPU, and unless you have something like that, you can't get anything above 100 FPS these days. So therefore, none of the AAA games that have been coming out over the last couple of years, none of them actually run properly anymore without using some form of upscaling technology and without applying TAA to basically smoothen out, for anti-aliasing. This blurs the shit out. The experience is terrible. So, considering all of these things and the way, studios want to save costs, I mean, I don't blame them. Like, every business is in the business of making money. Same with developers, same with publishers. Why the hell would they spend more money to optimize a game when they can just release it as is and use the hardware to make it more prettier, right? They just add supporting technology and say, fuck it, use DLSS, use whatever ray tracing technology you have, and they don't have to optimize it further to save costs. They care about saving costs, right? Considering all of that, I think, and this is what I've noticed, gaming on a console seems to be way more consistent. Honestly, like a game releases on a console, if they say it's going to run at 60 FPS, at least you can expect it to run between 55 to 60 FPS consistently. The graphics are consistent, the performance is consistent. There's no, I don't know if there are crashes on a PS5. But you will see a ton of them on the PC. And then there's Windows updates, driver updates, all of these things you'll have to deal with when it comes to the PC. So as a long time PC gamer, I've basically played games all my life on a PC. The only consoles I've actually owned have been a PS2 and a PSP, which I loved. I loved both of these. And obviously before that, I had a Nintendo. The one we play Super Mario on. It was a localized version, but it was that. If you see the games on a PS2 or a PSP, these have consistent performance. The moment you put the disc in, they fucking work. You expect them to work, and they work. And I've seen that, and that's exactly the kind of performance and consistency I'm looking for today. Unfortunately, that used to be the case on the PC, plus way better looking graphics. Unfortunately, now there's a huge compromise. You either get good graphics or you have better performance. You can't have both. And that sucks, okay? Considering that, I don't think there's a reason to keep investing in upgrading PC components anymore. Like, I don't want to spend 400, 500 bucks, 500 US dollars or 40,000 Indian rupees on upgrading a graphics card when I know the shit is going to be the same 3 years down the line. So the life cycle of a GPU is very small nowadays. It's shortened by a significant amount. But I'm seeing consoles are basically now peaking mid-cycle. Okay, we're seeing more games coming out for the console. And if I look back at the release date of the PS5 versus now, there are pretty good games for the console, and all of them perform consistently, even with Xbox. So why not an Xbox, and why a PS5? Because I've made the decision to move from a PC to a PS5. It's because the Xbox, okay, shares it's the same DNA as Windows. You have the same games. You can get that on on the Game Pass, and I appreciate that from Microsoft, although the prices have gone up. But I still think it's a pretty good deal for a console gamer. You just hop into a game, play for a bit. Just the price of gaming is low on an Xbox. However, I've decided to move to a PS5 because of the exclusives. Okay, now we know that Xbox games are also coming to the PS5 according to what's in the news, so that's good. But I don't think these games are ever going to go to the Xbox. They might be coming to a PC. Shitty ports. Some of them don't run well. I think very few games like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all of these, they do run well. But otherwise, the performance is first-party games at least. The performance is extremely good on the console. And I have the Xbox controller. I like the controller. I think it's quite ergonomic. But I think because I've played on a PS2, I respect the reliability of a Sony PlayStation. At least back then. I don't know how the PS5 is going to be. I really hope it's going to be good. I hope my experience gaming on that console will be as good as playing on a PC. So yeah, that's what I've decided. But I'm selling all of my PC components, and I'm getting a used fat PS5 with a disc, because I can get used games for much cheaper, and I can own these games, and I can play offline if I don't want to go online. There's the support for the SSD. Additionally, I can get that, put that in, and buy digital games and install that. So I think the freedom and the flexibility is slightly better on a PS5 compared to an Xbox. And I think the $80 price of the PS Plus is definitely worth it because of the games that keep coming out every month. So there it is. That's what I've decided, to move from a PC after all these years, over a decade, and then just move to a PS5. I'm really excited for the change. One thing that I think I'm concerned with right now is I have a lot of games on my Steam account. Um, Maybe it's not a concern. I think at some point in the future, I'll probably get a handheld, like an Asus ROG Ally or a Steam Deck OLED, and hopefully I can play these games. So, but the Steam account is going to be there. Maybe I'll have a laptop in the future where I can just play these games if I need to. Games that are not on a console yet. So yeah, that's basically what I've been thinking over the last couple of weeks, and I just made the decision today to sell my PC parts. I've just already just it's confirmed. The order is confirmed to sell everything, and so I have a couple of processors, the 5600X, which I am running right now, and the 2600X, which I upgraded from. So I have both of them. I have the Asus ROG 3060 Ti, the Strix edition, and I have an Asus motherboard, a pretty good Antec case. So all of these things are now going, and moving to a PS5. Hey Spectre, a very good afternoon. The game is right now doing its thing. It's compiling shaders to optimize PC performance. That's what I'm seeing here on the screen. I really hope it runs well. And by the way, I don't know if you've heard my bit at least in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but I've decided to basically shift to a PS5 entirely. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.